Testing, 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 testing. 1, 2, 3. Constant Cars crew, what is cracking? Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the channel. As you can tell from the title of today's vlog, we are talking about how I went through 8 cars in 2021. Let's get started.
I trust nobody. It take one false moving away up behind me, yeah. Bro, book for robbery. Poppin' person, I'm the pain, feeling like a zombie, yeah. Put up for the gang, I need a milli for the group. Cause I can't go outside without my niggas in the coop. I stand with my 9, can't get cold like Lil Snoop. When you up there and you hot, niggas cook you like some soup. Marching through the pain and all my struggles like a troop. Cause you won't get my brothers out the struggle, tell me who. Gotta keep changing, niggas say I'm acting new. But when I'm out there in the field, what the fuck I'm supposed to do?
I drove like 10 minutes into this gigantic park near me, Tyler State Park, if you're ever in Bucks County. It's a beautiful place to go, but I drove about 10 minutes deep in here. I think I even drove down some do not enter roads, looking for some scenery for you guys, and I found this really dope bridge. Okay, so we're going to start off with my Plum Crazy Purple RT Dodge Challenger. I did start off the year already having owned the Challenger. It was an amazing car. Like I said, it was a Plum Crazy. It had the classic trim on it, so it was purple and chrome accent, chrome wheels. When I got a nice wax on there, cleaned it up really well, it really stuck out. Amazing all-around car, probably my most fun car if I had to rank them. I used to slide that thing like it was my job. Drifting that thing was so much fun. I feel like I only had it for a single purpose, and that was to slide. I did have pretty low mileage on it, so I never really had any issues even after sliding. I think I popped that single tire, but no mechanical issues. It was really all around a good car. And then I had my son, so the space in there was actually decent. I mean, I think it's like the largest coupe that you could possibly get. But it obviously would have been easier having 4 doors or more space to put a stroller and some baby equipment. So I decided to get a change. So after about a month of still owning the Challenger into 2021, early February, I had my first CarMax experience, which was the Jeep Grand Cherokee limited trim. And I didn't mention how that experience went in my last vlog from last Tuesday, so make sure you go check that out. I was able to compromise with the wifey by still keeping the 5.7 V8 that I had in my RT Challenger while still getting the dad mobile. So I was able to get a little bit of both. I was still happy. It was still pretty quick in that limited trim. It was a very clean vehicle. I was very excited to own it, actually. I had never owned a Grand Cherokee, and I've always liked the body style. Heard nothing but good things about them. So I was honestly excited to get ready to start this build, get into the Jeep life, because, you know, the Jeep life is a cult that you must live and die by once you own a Jeep. I was able to then do a Jeep Wave, even though all you Jeep enthusiasts out there will hate me for that, because you need a Wrangler to actually do the Jeep Wave, or it doesn't count. I'm not a real Jeep in a Grand Cherokee. So come March, I was able to travel to Delaware, I think it was Delaware, to find myself an RT Durango before they skyrocketed in price. And found myself a great deal thanks to a family friend. Till this day, the Durango was probably my favorite all-around vehicle. even though it was the same engine as the last two, that 5.7 V8. There's just something different about the Durango. It sets it apart. The way it feels, I don't know if it's the space you get or how large it is while still keeping a relatively fast pace. I don't know what it is. It's got an all-around decent experience. And if I had to choose out of any vehicle my go-to daily driver, it would be a Hellcat Durango. I believe firmly that that would be my favorite daily driver. I think it checks every box. Like I said, even the RT Durangos, the SRT Durangos, I just think the Durango is so well-rounded in everything that it can do. If I could have the power of that Hellcat as well, it would be perfect. Now, I did have this one, the Durango, for the longest out of all the vehicles, which is not saying much because it was only from March till July, until one day I was leaving work and a woman ran her stop sign and unfortunately totaled the Rang Gang, officially putting out of commission. And then there were 4. So obviously in need of another vehicle after totaling the Rang Gang. I had my first German experience. Oh la la, that's not German. Anyway, I was fortunate enough to find a good deal on a BMW E71 X6M. Now, labeling that one, if I had to label that one, it is definitely by far my most unique vehicle that I've had. Even though the Durango was fast, as well as being large, it was nowhere near as fast as the X6M was. Now, if I had the Hellcat, that would have been a different story. Now, I say unique because there's not many 6,000-pound SUVs that have 550 plus horsepower that can spank almost anything else on the road that's really not expecting it. It just really catches you by surprise on how big but how fast that thing can be. Now, technically, on the timeline, I did have the BMW longer than I had the Durango. However, if you check that previous vlog about what really happened to my X6M, search the channel, you'll find it. I actually wasn't using it that entire time. So the Durango still stands as longest usable vehicle that I had. But eventually, by the end of 2021, it did take a spill. Now, this is somewhat clickbait because after the BMW, I had 4 loaner vehicles. So I know you're probably thinking, well, we're into the end of the year. He's only mentioned having 4 vehicles, which personally, unless you're coming from money, I think is a pretty decent amount of vehicles to go through throughout the year. Accidentally, that is, not on purpose. But I had started with a Jeep Cherokee loaner to start. And this is all while my BMW X6M was being worked on. There was something wrong with that. The car reeked of antifreeze, so we traded it in for another Jeep Cherokee. Now, I got that one, and the ball bearing sounds like it's about to fly off the car. My wheel is spinning by itself. I don't even know how it made it to the lot or how it was offered as a vehicle from this dealership to be sold, because these cars were for sale and it's in this condition. So I was very surprised. That one didn't even last 2 days. I called them back right away and said, hey, I'm gonna need another one that's not falling apart. I do have a family and I would like to get around safely. So my third loaner vehicle is a Kia Sorento. Now, I almost preferred the broken Jeep to the Kia Sorento because of that I would not recommend to anybody. unless you just want to get from point A to point B and you want to carry a few things in the back. It's not meant for anything else. I don't think it even goes over 40 miles per hour, if I'm being honest with you. So about a week before I got my BMW back, this dealership calls me and said, hey, we just sold the vehicle that you're in. We're going to drive to your house and replace it with another one, and we'll swap. Which was very concerning if I'm that buyer, because they had no accurate mileage. I had been driving it for almost 2 weeks at that point. There might have been an extra scratch on the car that was there from after I had gotten it. The handle to the trunk lid, where you would pull it down, actually popped out when I tried to close the trunk. So it was not in good shape. There was extra mileage on there that I'm sure was listed on the website. So if you're watching this and you bought that Kia Sorento, I apologize. Not my fault. Blame the dealership. But yeah, so they brought me a third Jeep Cherokee, making that my fourth loaner vehicle and eighth total vehicle over 2021. I did technically get the BMW back by the end of the year. And now 2022, I've had 2 cars, including the BMW, before February. So we're starting off on a good foot. 2 in 1 month. We'll see where we meet up back at the end of this year. I stay with my 9, can't get cold like Lil Snoop. When you up there and you hot, niggas cook you like some soup.